So lesson 6.2 is on comparing and ordering decimals, fractions, and percents, okay? So you're gonna be either given either fractions, decimal, or percent, and our job is to be able to kind of tell which one's greater, smaller, or even be able to order them from least to greatest, okay? In order to really know which one is bigger or smaller, we need to kind of convert them both so they're in the same format. So either both percents, both fractions, both decimals, or if it's an ordering problem, we need to make sure we're ordering them and convert them all to the same percent or all to fractions or all to decimals and stuff like that, okay? So it doesn't matter to me what you convert them to, but I would probably suggest either percents or decimals. Those are just a little bit easier to kind of convert, okay? So we're gonna look at problem number 1 here. So my job is to tell which one is greater. I have 20% and I have 0.02 or 2 100ths, okay? I need to get them both to the same format. So I like working with percent, so I'm gonna keep both of these and convert them into percents. Now, 20% is already a percent, so I can just leave that as it is, but I'm gonna go ahead and write it down here because I'm gonna get my percent that represents that side and then my percent that represents this side down here. Now, we learned last lesson, when we convert a decimal to a percent, all we need to do is move our decimal 2 places to the right. So I go 1, 2, and now it's at the end. That represents 2, so I have 2%. Now I'm able to compare these, all right, based on that I have them in the same format. So I have 20% and 2%. Well, we know 20% is more than 2%, so 20% is greater than 2%, okay? So this would be our answer right there, all right? Okay, next example. I have 50% and I have 13/25, all right? So what I wanna do, I wanna keep my percent again. I'm gonna keep 50%, and all I need to do is convert 13/25 to a percent. Now, we said last lesson again, there are 2 ways that I can take a fraction and make it into a percent. The way that I would suggest to look for is if this bottom number is compatible to getting to 100. So if I can take 25 times a certain number to get to 100, we want to do that, okay? Because if I know I have a number over 100, that number on top that I have is going to be that percent, okay? If you don't like doing that, you can always divide, where you would put the top number on the inside and the bottom number on the outside, and then you would divide through, okay? I would only suggest this method when you can't do mental math, okay? So for this example, I'm just going to keep 50 as its percent, so I don't need to change that at all. And now I need to take 13/25 and make it a percent. Now I'm gonna show you the mental math way on this one. So I know I can take 25 times 4 to get 100, and that's what we want. We want to get 100 on the bottom. So I can also take 13 times 4 to get my top number, okay? 13 times 4 is going to get me 52. And now, because I know I have my 52 over 100, and if I have anything over 100, that's perfect in terms of percent, okay? It's whatever that top number is as a percent. So 52 over 100 is 52%. So we know that 13/25 is more than 50%, so 52% is more than 50%. So I want to see that you have converted them to the same format on all of these, okay? All right, last one here where we compare. So once again, I got 80%. We don't need to change that at all. Now in this one, 9 is not compatible with 100. I can't take 9 times the number and get 100. So what I have to do in this case is I have to divide, okay? And we're gonna have to get a decimal first and then convert that decimal back to a percent, okay? So here, we're gonna ask ourselves, 9 goes into 7, 0 times. Now we gotta add our decimal up and bring a 0 down, okay? 9 goes into 70, 7 times. 7 times 9 is 63. I subtract, I get 7. I'm gonna add a 0 and bring it down, okay? 9 goes into 70, 7 times again. And kind of like I said in the past in class, we wanna, if we're dividing, we wanna get up to 3 numbers after the decimal. And we probably see a pattern here, you know that 7's gonna be repeating, so 0.7 repeating would be fine. But to see when we are gonna move our decimal here, I would like you to get 3 numbers after the decimal, and I'm okay with you stopping there, okay? There's no need to continue to keep going on. All right, so I have 0.777. all right, that it's a decimal, but we need to get it back to a percent. So once again, we remember taking a decimal to a percent, we move it 2 times to the right. Now that decimal is in between that second and third 7, so 77.7. So 77.7%, okay? And we know that does repeat, all right? But like I said, after 3 numbers, I'm okay with that. 80% and 77 and 7/10%. Okay, we're going to have a greater than sign because 80 is greater than 77%. All right? All right, and the last type of example problem that you're going to see today is we compare when we have 2 different numbers, and we're going to order if we have more than 2. Okay, so here I have a percent, I have a fraction, and I have a decimal. Like I said, it's up to you on which format you want to set them all into, either percents, fractions, or decimals. I'd probably stay away from fractions just because then you're going to have to get a common denominator, and it's just going to create more work for yourself. And I would lean more towards percents and decimals, okay? I'm just going to stay with percents again in this example. So I have 0.15 or 1/1500ths percent. Since I'm going to stay with percents in this, I'm just going to keep that one the same. Now I need to take this 3/20ths and make it a percent, okay? Since 20 is compatible by 100, I can take 20 times 5 to get to 100. I'm going to do the mental math method here. All right. And I'm going to take 3 times 5 and get 15. 15 over 100 is 15%. Whatever that top number is whatever that percent is if it's over 100. And then lastly, I have this decimal, and I'm going to make it a percent. All I got to do is move the decimal 2 times to the right. It's in between the 1 and the 5, so 1/2%. Sorry, 1.5%. Okay? Now I just got to make sure I order them from least to greatest. We want to keep them in the percent form when I do that. Okay? So my smallest percent here is 1/1500ths%. We're really just kind of looking at our place values here of our decimal since I have 1 and 5 in all of my percents. My next biggest percent is 1.5%. And then my largest percent is 15%. So I order them from smallest to biggest or least to greatest. All right, so comparing and ordering fractions, decimals, and percents. All right, so our homework today is on page 224, 4 through 22 evens, and then 26 through 29.